Hey guys, my name is Neel and welcome to Neel Workshop Zone. So in this episode we're going to be talking about JavaScript. So in our previous episodes, which were practical episodes, which if you haven't checked it out, I recommend checking out those episodes. We talked regarding JavaScript and what JavaScript can do, and I showed you a lot of examples on them. But in this episode we're going to be touching on the same subjects and trying to explain in detail on what those things are. Because in that code there's a lot of complicated stuff that you might be confused about. So, without further ado, let's talk about them. So first, let us take two words: console and document. So, both of these words, if you have checked out my practical episode, I have used these words a lot, especially document. But first, let's talk about console. So, what is console? Well, you can use console in your JavaScript code to just use alerts or text and use those texts and alerts and hide them in the back end of your code, or especially in your console. Now, I know you are a little bit confused, but let me show you this simple example. If you're on a laptop or computer right now, if you go to any website, whether that be Google or YouTube or just some random website, and you right click it, obviously a pop-up box will appear. And when you click on inspect, you will actually get to see the backend code of the website, of the entire code of the entire website. You can actually view it by clicking on inspect. Now, imagine you want to, let us assume that you are working on a website and you have written some code and you need something to kind of remind you or just to kind of give you an alert while you're working on the code inside of the website, but you don't want it to appear on the website but just on the back end of the website on what you're working on. On that, you can use console, where it appears for you on the back end or on the console, but it doesn't appear for you on the website. Now, there are three console ways or three console commands that you can use for, your advantage. So these three words are log, warn, and error. So console.log, console.warn, and console.error. So these three can be used for for just giving you some suggestions or advices in the console. So for example, let us assume that you want to write an error somewhere which you'll probably forget in the future. So what you can do is console.log or console.error. You can write some error something and close them in double brackets and close them in curved brackets. Now, doing this will lead to an error on the console, not on the website but in the console. Because for a normal viewer, they won't see any of this, but for the programmer who's working on the website, you will actually get to see three of these. So console.log is used to write just text, so you can just write brackets and you can write some text over here and you will get to see that. And console.warn is when this yellow color dialog or just this warning appears, and console.error is basically showcases an error. So in three of these, they're the same, but depending on the situation and the type of thing you're dealing with, you can use any three of these. But all of these three serve the same purpose. They can't be seen by the public user, but only you, who is the programmer of the website, can see them. So that is console. Now, before we talk about document, there's one more small thing I would like to say. You can use this symbol, which is a double slash, to kind of hide comments in your code. So again, when you're writing some code, and imagine you just want to write some notes for yourself that doesn't appear on the website or on the console, and just while you're writing the code, you just need some important points to remember and to help you write the code better. That is, you can use double slash. So if you write something like this is a comment and then close them again, this will not appear on the website or even on the console. This will just appear as a small comment that you can help to kind of your advantage while you're writing website, to hide some important things that you'll otherwise probably forget. Now let's talk about document. So, but before we talk about document again, there's one more other important thing that you need to know. That is ID. So what is ID? Well, I talked about this in my HTML episodes again, but ID, to put it simply, is an attribute, right? It's something that you can use to define a specific value. So this, you can use it to define something. So for example, we can write something like ID, or ID is equals to let's say demo. Let us write demo. So you can use this to specify some word or a value or a number for ID. So you can use this ID to again use it somewhere in the code. So it works similar to, I could say, data type. So this ID could be used further in the code, and you can change that ID, or you can change it in different ways so that you can use it to your liking by not changing the original code or writing one more ID. So this is how you can excuse me, this is how you can use an ID. So now let us write this again. So let us assume you're writing code. So h1 let us write demo is equals to double brackets, brackets. Let's write you need to write ID over here is equals to demo. Let's close the brackets and let us close this again, and let us write slash h1, and between the slash h1 let's write something like hi, and let us close this. So this is a text that you can see, and now ID demo is hi. So in this ID attribute you are hiding, which is defined as demo. So in this case, an ID in this program code is a demo, and in the demo the value for demo is hi. It's a little complicated, but it's basically ID over here is defined by demo in this program, and demo's value is hi. So we write slash h1 here. So again, when writing HTML code, you obviously need to end anything with a slash on the right side, and one more important thing is to end it with a semicolon. So this is how you can define an ID, and this is really important. So let us remember this. Now coming to document, again, when you're writing a document or using it in a code, it is seen by the public. So you can just say something like document dot write, and you can write something in the brackets, something, and it is seen by the public. Semicolon. So you can use document to use comments that can be seen by the public. Now imagine that you have defined an ID somewhere. Let us take the before example. Let us assume that we have taken an ID and we have defined it as demo. Now we need to use that in the bottom of the code, or you want it to use 1 second in your code. So let us assume for this example, change the value of hi to hello. Let us assume it's a simple example. So what you could do is you could use something like document dot get by element ID. Let us take my eraser real quick. ID, and you can write curly brackets if there is no place, so I'll just write. Let us assume that the ID is demo. Okay. So what we have done here is, since document is public, we wrote get by element ID. So we're asking the code to bring the ID element that is written on the top of the code and bring it to here, and we have written the ID name so it doesn't get confused with other document IDs. And let's keep another period, and let us assume the function of this document get by element ID in this code is to change the inner HTML from hi to hello. So inner HTML, let's say something like hello. So this simple code, it doesn't really work. Obviously, you need to write a lot more things, which I have done in my practical episode, which you can check it out. But this is a simple sentence. So document basically says that it is available to the public, and get by element ID brings the element ID which I have written in the top of the code, and demo is to define the element ID so that it doesn't get confused for other IDs if you have written it in the code. And inner HTML basically says that it is the inner value of the ID. So let us assume that hello is the outer HTML and this hello, the hi is the outer HTML and hello is the inner HTML. So this is the hidden value of the inner HTML. So that is something that is visible to everyone. But by using inner HTML, what we're doing is we are replacing the hello with hi. So we're basically telling the code or obviously the code that hello is the true value and we need to display hello, not hi. So that is how document.getElement by ID works. So now let me tell you two more things and we'll end the episode. So you can also write P inside tags to write a paragraph. So just like how we just read sentences in H1, which is a header, we can also write some paragraphs of multiple lines and end them with /p. And let us assume that you want to insert some image or something into your website. What you can do is you can write source in the code, which again I showed you in a practical episode, but we can write source, and what this does is it basically tells us the source of where the image or something comes from. So for example, let us say that you want to put an image and the image name is something like duck.jpg, right? So by writing source is equals duck.jpg, it basically tells the computer, okay, so that is the source of the image. And not only like that, we also have a lot more stuff. So we have style, which changes the color or the font, and we have more things like that. But for this episode, that's probably it. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out any new videos. And that's it folks, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.